Many of you, by the time you watch this video, have already entered into forbearance on your mortgage. I want to lay down the facts for you, what you should do next. It is really important you watch this video all the way through. There are warnings I'm going to give you, facts that I'm going to give you that come from the government websites that educate the public on these matters. This is super important. Before I go any further, I want to ask you, please click subscribe down here, and as you have comments and questions, place those questions in comments. We will give you links to the government websites that you need. We'll give you links to the council websites that you might need. Just in the comments down here, say what you need, and please subscribe. Each day this week, I'm going to continue to give you factual updates on what's happening in this crisis 2020 and how you can respond and how you can come out on top. So click subscribe right down here. So CARES is the Coronavirus Aid and Recovery Economic Security Act. The purpose is, of course, to enable you and I to recover from unemployment during this time. The primary core benefit is forbearance on mortgages. Forbearance is not a foreclosure at all. It has nothing to do with foreclosure at this point. Forbearance is just that. The bank is forbearing. It is deferring the payment that is due that you can't make because of unemployment. So first of all, who qualifies? This is very interesting. Anybody who has a hardship from COVID-19 qualifies. This is very different from 2007, 8, 9 with the short sale crisis, where the banks asked for mountains of paperwork, and the consumers, many hundreds of whom I knew, would send in the paperwork. The bank would say, I don't have it. Send paperwork, I don't have it. Send paperwork, I don't have it. This time the government said, the banks aren't allowed to ask for paperwork. If you say you've got forbearance, then you qualify for forbearance. It was very smart. That eliminated a lot of red tape. So if you have hardship, you qualify, and you have the access, a right to request for a deferment of your payment. And we're going to let you know, in this video, I'm going to let you know what happens when you do that deferring. This is only on government-backed loans. That means FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Those are the primary categories. So it's on government-backed loans. You might go, Andrew, I don't know if I have a government-backed loan. Go to the comments down here and say, Andrew, how do I find out if I have a government-backed loan? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people call their loan officer, who also probably won't know, and you might not even be able to reach them. So I'm going to go into that next. Who do you call? Number one most important call that you make. Do not just stop making your payments. It will damage your credit. It will mess up your economic life, maybe for years to come. Call your servicer. So the servicer is the organization that the bank or the investment company that owns your mortgage now uses to collect the payments and have the interface with their customers. That's called a servicer. It's super important. Please, I watched so many people not do this in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. They didn't call their servicer. Call your servicer. Let them know that you need to go into forbearance, and then you will make an arrangement with them. Let me say also, there are HUD counseling agencies around the country. They do not charge you to go in. This is not a scam agency. You need to go to the HUD website to find your local HUD counseling agency if your servicer does not talk to you appropriately, okay? Again, comments. If you need the link, put a comment down below and my team will get back to you and we'll let you know, we'll give you the links that you need. So who to call? Your servicer. If you can't get anywhere, then a HUD counselor. Now, third piece of advice I want to give you is document everything. When you have your conversation with your servicer, follow up with an email and say, per the conversation we had at such and such a time. Make sure you document each stage and make sure when you reach your forbearance agreement that you have a document and you keep that document. Keep it both physically and keep it digitally. That who knows what's going to happen 12 months down the line? Trust me, you need documentation. Make sure you have it. Make sure you have it available. Save it to the cloud. Put it up into your Dropbox. Whatever you need to do, make sure you save the documentation. Now, as you know, the forbearance through CARES provides for the opportunity to defer your payment for 6 months and then potentially another 6 months after that. So that's up to a year. Again, on the government loans, the right to request for that deferment of payment. 6 to 12 months. Then what? Here's the big question. Then what? What happens to your credit? What happens to your ability to borrow? What happens when you want to go and buy a car? Is it going to show up on your credit? People say to me, is there going to be a huge lump sum that's due that I'm not going to be able to pay? A lot of these fears and worries are in the American public. So let's make it clear. According to the CARES Act, and there was an amendment of this just 2 days ago, in most of the loans, there will not be the ability for the bank to demand a lump sum, but the amount of money that you owe is not going to go away. And there's several things that will happen. We don't have time in this video. Several things will happen. One of which will be that you will need to renegotiate with your lender, and they'll take the amount that you've not paid and they will put that into maybe the next 12 months of payments. So your mortgage payment will go up a little bit. There are several solutions that will happen. Some lenders will take the amount that you've not paid and they'll add it on to the back of the loan. So again, several things can happen, but this is not a forgiveness of the amount of money. This is a deferment of the amount of money. So after the 6 to 12 months, then comes the time to reorganize your loan. And again, speak to your servicer. Again, if you get stuck, make sure that you are talking with HUD counselors. Again, ask us in comments for those links. So repayment comes to a place where through the forbearance, you are going to need to resume your regular payments. Here's something I want to share from the bottom of my heart. Resume and repay. The greatest danger when somebody says you don't have to pay something is that in your head you get used to that and you defer and defer and defer when you don't need to. Millions of Americans are going to go back to work next month and the month after. Make your payment again. Get back current with your payment. This is about the future of your home, the future of your children. Don't get into that aspect of life where we can even become a little lazy and go, well, I don't need to work so hard. I don't need to make that payment. Maybe I'll use the money to buy an RV or something else. Huge mistake. It's time to once you're employed again, it's time to get back into that regular routine of making your house payment, and then you can deal with your lender regarding the deferment. So getting back to payments is super important for your security, of course the security of the country, but for you personally. Don't do what people did in the 2000s and wreck 5 years of their life. Some people that I meet still today, 10 years of their life economically ruined. And all they needed to do really was have somebody help them for a year or a year and a half. Don't ruin 10 years of your life. So resuming payments, repaying payments. Again, I want to ask you here in the bottom of this video, place your comments, ask your questions. We will send you links to the services and the government organizations. One word of warning here. Watch out for agencies that will come up and say, they'll call you and they'll say, hey, if you give us X amount of money, we'll renegotiate your loan for you. If you give us X amount of money, we'll be able to get your forbearance for you. Any of those projects are going to be scams. The government has set it up where you can go to HUD counselors for free and get this arranged. You can go to your servicer, and your servicer is legally obliged by the government of the United States of America to be cooperative with you. Again, if you need legal advice, go and speak to an attorney. But many people cannot afford that attorney. Go to a HUD counselor and they will help you through this. And primarily, stay in regular communication with your servicer as we rebuild our jobs, we rebuild our lives, and we rebuild the strength of the America that we all love. Okay? Again, subscribe, okay? I want to keep you up to date with what is real and what the facts are. Thank you for watching.